Imagine you go to meet your woman lawyer and she's turned into a dude. And you're just like, this is fun. None of my business.
I was born a woman. Some of y'all don't care. Some of y'all are neutral.
Some don't care and some are neutral. So literally nobody thinks that it's good and supports it. Wait, what? Won all her cases as a woman, became a man, and started losing all the cases. Transgender attorney Rob Hopkins, who was tackled after arguing with an Oklahoma judge, shuts down LGBTQ law firm following the incident. So you've all seen the clip at this point.
You interrupt me one more time, you are being held in direct contempt of court, and
Yes,
you can
ma'am.
wipe that smirk off.
I don't
your
have a
face.
smirk on my face.
Oh, yes, you do.
I do not. I wasn't done with my argument.
And I was not done with my statement. You interrupted again. Do not throw your...
I did not throw. It fell off the bench. Please stop stating things that are not true, ma'am. Or maybe because I'm a transgender attorney practicing all over this state.
I don't know what you are.
You do, ma'am.
Your hands behind your back.
Do not. Are you throwing me over this?
Stop resisting.
I'm not resisting.
Okay.
I was looking into this morning to try to find out what happened. Apparently this was like 6 weeks ago, but it just went viral on Twitter this past week. So this person now, they've closed their LGBTQ law firm.
All right, we're going to pick you up. Roll on your
No.
side.
No, I don't. Get a female officer now. Get a female officer now.
Get up.
Get a female officer now.
Can a man request a female officer? So that is a biological woman though. That's the joke, right? So that's very funny. Everybody's a troon until shit gets real. A man isn't allowed to request a female officer, are they? That wouldn't make any sense, but you could understand why a woman maybe wouldn't want to get searched by a man. So it's very funny though, seeing a male transgender being like, get a female, I'm a woman. It's like, wait, hold on. I thought you were a man though. Everybody's a man until it's time to go to the male prison.
I can't get up. I can't see. He just threw my glasses. I can't see. Give me my glasses. Put them on my face. No. Put them on my face. I cannot see.
Go.
Please give me my glasses. I cannot see. I'm trying to walk and I cannot see. I need my wallet.
I'm not trying to
Judge
walk.
said take him to jail for contempt of court. And then the file will
At this time, it is the right move for me to...
Okay, so this is the announcement that she is closing the law firm.
Step away. As many of you all heard, there was an incident that took place in another county, a rural county,
Rural, that means transphobic.
there are more details of that incident, and I can't release that at this time. And being as that I believe that I first have grounds for discrimination lawsuit there in that county.
She is saying she wants to sue for discrimination because this all happened because I'm trans, right?
But for my physical safety at this time, it's best that I step away. And for my family's physical safety, it's best that I step away. And for all of you wondering if I'm moving, I'm not moving. I'm from South Texas. I can't live in one of those states like Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Minnesota. I wasn't built for that. So I'm not going to leave the great state of Oklahoma. I will work, and people are, well, what are you going to do now, Rob? You know, I'll let you know. But like I've told everybody, I know that I am created in his image. I know that there is a bigger plan for me. I know that I will always land on my feet. And whatever I have to do is to make ends meet and to survive out there, I will. For all of you worried about my mental health, thank you so much. I appreciate those thoughts and prayers and good wishes and good vibes. I've got a team of wonderful doctors. You can't go through what I can both medically and psychologically without being medically cleared.
Okay. This video is on February 15th on Facebook. This was like, I guess, shortly after the event where she tells her side. It's just saying she just doesn't feel, neither of them feels right. Doesn't feel right.
It's about time you guys hear my side. The problem is I can't address all the things that some of y'all may heard, but I can talk a little bit. I'm outside of my office. It's 7:30 on a Sunday.
13 minutes.
And usually I'd stay here a couple more hours, but I have some prior obligations. And this is a typical Sunday for me. My story is not like all of y'all's. It's a little bit different in the fact that I was born a woman, and that makes everyone mad a little bit. Some of y'all don't care, and some of y'all are neutral. It just so happens that that is a part of me.
Some don't care and some are neutral. So literally nobody thinks that it's good and supports it.
But it's not all of me, and just like I introduce myself everywhere, it's something that I don't even acknowledge. But it seems to be that...
It's something that I don't even acknowledge. It's literally the first and only thing that you've brought, and it's the thing you keep bringing up, and you're saying that it's all because of this. So I don't even acknowledge it, but it's all I ever talk about at the same time.
Certain members of very important higher-ups, if you will, have made it the brunt of a lot of things. And I have not been able to say a word about anything, but at this point, I don't think that anyone will ever hear the truth, so I had to tell it myself. About 3 years ago is the time that I decided to live my true authentic self. And I'd heard horror stories in the past. One in particular is a very famous psychiatrist here in Oklahoma City in the metro area. I don't believe she lives here anymore. She came to my office when I was still in Piedmont and begged me for my help. And I saw how terrible her case had gone, and I turned her down. And she came back to me 3 years later again and asked for my help again, and I turned her down again. And that's when I got to know her. And she said, Rob, let me tell you one thing. Don't send out a letter to all of your clients letting them know what you're doing. Just do it. And the ones that will stand by you were always the ones that were by you. And boy, was she right. I'll never forget when I first started transitioning, I had an older couple client, and I thought that my older couples would be the people that I'd have the most difficult time with. But this man came into my office and he said, I'm looking for Robin. Where is she? And I said, sir, I'm right here, and my name is Rob. And he said, okay.
Bro, imagine you go to meet your woman lawyer and it's a dude and she's turned into a dude. And you're just like, this is fun. None of my business. Bro, that's your lawyer. That's like one of the most important services you could pay for. So sir, you hope to not need it, but you know what I mean? It's like lawyer, doctor. Those are like two people you want to have their shit together.
What about my case? And I told him about his case and didn't skip a beat, and he never got my pronouns wrong. And at that point, I knew it was possible.
I did speed up the audio. I literally told you I was doing that.
Possible for the world to accept Rob for Rob, and I knew it was time to be Rob. It became a little bit difficult in the smaller area.
Yeah, I know. Imagine having a woman lawyer. No, we used a woman for my immigration lawyer, and she was good. She did a fine job. She didn't Jew me. I used a woman immigration lawyer, and I didn't get Jewed. And then I used a Jewish copyright lawyer, and I got Jewed.
I had one member of the judiciary tell me, I'm not going to call you by Rob because that's not your legal name, and I don't have to call you that. And I said, okay. So it was then and there that I decided that I would legally change my name to Rob. I wasn't going to change my name, but at that point I legally changed it to Rob because I was told that if I was going to sign my name as Rob, then my name had to be Rob. Albeit, let's not remember that there's lots of Phillips out there that go by Phil, a lot of all sorts of things that people go by, but
So his legal name is Robin, is what he's saying. Is this what the argument was about? The judge called him Robin or something like that? Was that her name? Whatever her name was.
I knew at that point that there was going to be no accommodations made for Rob. And so that's why it's taken me this long to even talk about myself or talk about this topic, because all I've wanted to do here in the state of Oklahoma is go to work and go home. I've had a lot of support.
Yeah, and like you're a lawyer. Surely you could figure out how to change your name legally if it's that big of a deal. I don't really know. I've watched the video of the thing with the judge, but all I really gleaned out of it was that the judge was like, stop smirking or whatever, and then the troon was like, I'm not smirking, and then basically like accused the judge of being transphobic, and it just sort of spiraled from there.
From a lot of you, but I've also lost a lot of support. And what I never expected was the support that I would lose from my actual community. You know, I've been a part of the LGBTQ community my entire life. I was a woman and I dated women. And so the first places that I'd ever been to was, you know, the gay districts and areas of South Texas, where I'm originally from. And then, of course, when I moved here in 2009 on 39th Street and all of the above is where I found myself more at home. And so it was so weird to me when I started encountering discrimination from my own community. And how we are the first to tear down any kind of minority that is the other or is being targeted at the time. And like many lawyers, lots of people deal with addictions and alcoholism, drugs, sex, things, all sorts of things. I thought, I'm going to change that trajectory. I'm going to do it in a positive way. And so I began bodybuilding, and that was the most amazing experience I'd ever encountered. But of course, right then and there, that's when I first started getting the comments, well, he must be on steroids. Gosh, he's so aggressive. And what I thought was funny about all of those comments was that if you'd ever met me as Robin, I mean, Robin, I always say, was the most aggressive person I've ever met. And Robin was just not comfortable in her skin. And so Rob was just cool, calm, collective, just like I am right now. But
I mean, you're clearly smashing loads of testosterone, so you basically are on steroids.
That's when I remembered that people don't want to lose to Rob. They just can't handle it. It's too difficult. And, you know, I didn't start losing any of my cases until I was Rob. And that's when I...
Wait, what? Won all her cases as a woman, became a man, and started losing all the cases because Rob is too nice? Why does he think he's losing as a man?
I knew that things were going to be different for Rob. And so it didn't matter what I said, what I did. I was always lying. That was their number one thing. I wasn't telling the truth. I actually didn't send that. I actually didn't.
Funny. How's that male privilege working out for you, by the way? Becomes a man. Instantly, people start telling him he's aggressive, he's roided out, he's a liar, and he starts losing all his cases. Oh, man, how's that male privilege working out there, Rob? You enjoying your white male privilege?
Received that. I actually did receive it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's Rob. And I'll never forget the day that I had one of my most terrible days in court. I was late for my last hearing, and the judge goes, well, what's going on? Where were we at? And I was like, my name's Rob Hopkins. And she says, I don't know what that means, but we'll take it from here. And what it's meant is I can't go under the radar. I'm not a wallflower. If anybody knows me, they know I'm loud, I'm proud, and I'm going to be who I'm going to be. But I'm always going to be kind. I'm always going to be respectful. And so the allegations against me that you might hear that I've been disrespectful to any member in a black robe, they're just absolutely false. They're absolutely false.
Oh, so this is before the video came. Liar. I think we found out why they accuse you of being a liar. So this was filmed, like, posted February 15th. So before the video came out and went viral, and he's there like, oh, you're going to hear that I was disrespectful. It's not true. I don't know, man. The video doesn't look good. The video looks like you're being incredibly difficult.
There have been times where I've been overzealous, but always in the best interest of my client. I like practicing law more than anything in the world. And that's what I tell everybody that I come across. I love...
You can see her eyes tearing up. Women, they just they're emotional creatures, you know. It's in the eyes. You can see it in the eyes.
My children, I love basketball and I love the courtroom. And the thing about the courtroom is I'm actually good at it. That probably more than most people. And I don't know how long I'll do on this video, but I'll never forget the first time I ever entered into a courtroom. The first time I ever saw a jury trial. It was some of the many greats of Oklahoma County that have come out of the district attorney's office. And man, if you haven't seen a jury trial from the beginning to the end, you're missing out. You're missing out. And that's where I learned my trial skills, and that's where I realized I've got to do this. I've got to be in the courtroom. And I don't know, I'm not a huge baseball fan, but I like baseball. But it's that movie where the pitcher says, clear the mechanism. That's exactly how a courtroom is for me. I don't hear anything. I don't see anything but what's in front of me.
They're not saying it, just yapping and 13-minute video about getting thrown out of the courtroom, and it's literally just yapping about nothing.
Of course, the jury, of course, opposing counsels and other counsels, and of course the judge. It's been an amazing pleasure to serve the Oklahoma City metro area, Piedmont. I've pretty much been to every county, because that's another thing about me is I'm not scared. And when I talk to people and I tell them, hey Rob, you're not scared to go into that courtroom, you're not scared to go up against so and so. I've never been scared, and the reason why is well, one, God's always with me, but two, I tell people that when your immediate family, your mother, your siblings, you don't have the support in being Rob from your own family, there's nobody that can say anything, no tongue that can cross you, that can ever make you feel the way that feels. And so at the end of the day, I'm always gonna have a smile on my face. I'm always gonna leave the courtroom. And but I'm not gonna say I don't get heated. But see, I've never been heated more so than any other attorney in Oklahoma that I've seen, that I've had the pleasure of seeing in my time of being an attorney. And so with that, I'll say that if you've ever been crossways with me, I apologize. If it was as Robin, I apologize. And if it was as Rob, my sincerest apologies. But I think that it's now time to understand that it takes two to tango, that we can always be kind, that sometimes when people don't see eye to eye, there's another way to get there. And I think that I have done my best to try to do that. But it's come to the point where even when I am falling on the sword, even when I am going the extra mile to get something done, there still becomes a moving of the goalpost. It's just, nope, we're not going to do it because that's the way you want to do it. And those are the microaggressions that cause the turmoil, the adversarial negative reputations and connotations for people with Esquire behind their name. And at this point, I have decided in my legal career that I'm going to close up Hopkins Law and Associates. It's been a great pleasure to serve all of you. I'm here to field any and all questions that you might have. There's been a recent post on Facebook, and I've gotten numerous messages. My family has fielded numerous messages, numerous phone calls with regards to whether or not those allegations are true. And I'll stand behind it all day long. I'd take the stand. I'd be under oath that in no way, shape, or form have I ever preyed on a client of mine, much less a female client in a victim predicament with regards to domestic violence.
Whoa. Okay. Bombshell. Okay. It finally just got, so it wasn't just getting thrown out and spurring out the judge. There's allegations that she was being inappropriate with a female client. I believe the allegations. Hey man, listen, man. When women speak, I listen. I hashtag believe women. Okay, bucko. Okay, Rob. Let me tell you something, Rob. I believe women, especially when there's some LGBTQ involved.
Ron Durbin, there's a reason why you lost your law license.
Yeah, just to be clear, I believe cis women. Just so there's no confusion. Hashtag I believe cis women.
And to be honest with you, sir, I was always your biggest proponent. I've never met you, not one day in my life. But I had always said that there must be more to his story than what we're hearing. But sir, to make the allegations that you have made against me, to say things that you have said against me without once picking up the phone, my number is 405-215-9647. You can call or text me any day, sir. But the
doesn't really scream innocent when you close down your law firm in the same message as you're saying that you didn't do anything wrong.
Alleged felonies that you believe that I have committed, the alleged victims that have contacted you that you've connected with counsel, preposterous, sir.
Multiple alleged felonies.
I can name every single pro bono client that I've taken this year. I probably have had more pro bono hours in the year of 2025 than many counsels in this area, in this state. And the reason why is I am a product of a domestic violence household. I have sat on domestic.
Oh, is the allegation that he was like lying about taking pro bono clients or taking pro bono clients, but not actually working on their cases? That rings true, because if there's one thing I've learned about my time associating with social justice warrior types, they love to be seen as virtuous, but they don't actually like to work. So taking on like pro bono clients, but not actually working on the cases and just bragging about all your pro bono work, that's the type of thing that an SJW type would do.
Violence boards, and I believe in the change that needs to come for domestic violence victims. And I am always going to be part of the Me Too movement. And at the end of the day, there needs to be more focus on domestic violence as what it does generationally. The statistics show that if you are part of a domestic violence household, that it doesn't just affect you, but on to come for 5 generations.
Republic.
I knew you as Robin, and you were a fucking beast. Don't give up. Be that fire. Be that beast. Now as Rob, you got this. 49. Laugh reacts. How can you say you don't acknowledge being trans when that is all you talk about? You lost your professionalism in court when, instead of addressing the court, making your argument and addressing the court, you turned to opposing counsel and started ranting to him. Then when the judge rightfully told you to stand down, you tried to play the victim by playing the trans card. I'm not sure what is going on. I knew you as Robin, and know you as Rob, and what I know is you are honest, hardworking, courageous. Your life story in church was inspiring. Yeah, made in the image of God, she did say. We loved you as Robin and love you as Rob, etc., etc. I just want to, we're almost at the end of the show here, but Rob Hopkins, Me Too allegations. Some sources allege he abandoned his clients and engaged in unprofessional conduct. Oh, there's a URL here. Former clients allege Rob Hopkins billed for work he did not do, abandoned active cases, and closed his firm without notice. Lawyers, man. Civil rights attorney was jailed in Ada, Oklahoma for contempt of court after supposedly quoting a Pontotoc County bailiff who had that morning told him to get his rear end to the courthouse. His client, a domestic violence victim sheltering in another state under a protective order, did not appear. The attorney spent part of that morning arranging child care. He was released later the same day. Mother retained Hopkins to represent her in a family law case involving her child's medical coverage and custody. She signed a retainer agreement setting a total fee of $3,000 with $1,500 due upfront and the remainder in monthly installments. She paid $1,800 in total before stopping payments when she says it became clear that no meaningful legal work was being performed on her case. Dude, my lawyers would open an email for $1,800. She is asked to remain anonymous because her custody matter is still active and does not want her participation in this investigation used against her in ongoing proceedings. The Oklahoma Post has verified her account through text message records, blah, blah, blah. Her central complaint involves a motion for contempt. Her former spouse had stopped maintaining medical insurance for their child and stopped paying medical bills as required. Hopkins told her the motion had been drafted and that his staff was handling delivery to the court. Text messages show her texting Hopkins to report that the contempt motion was not showing on the docket. She wrote that the situation was getting urgent and asked him to check with the court. She told him she hated calling because she knew he took on a lot of cases. She got a thank you in reply, nothing else. 2 weeks passed. On December 24th in the morning, she discovered through her own monitoring of the court docket that her former spouse and his attorney had filed a new motion to modify custody. By the way, they named the spouse's attorney, which is like, you could start to triangulate her docs if you really gave a shit. I don't, but I'm just saying she wanted to be anonymous. I don't think they really needed to say the husband's attorney's name. She texted Hopkins immediately. His written response, reviewed in full by this publication, arrived in 4 separate messages sent within minutes of each other. Yes, I've been waiting for them to file and let Kevin know to serve me. It's the better move. Now he's blaming the medical neglect on you. Hopkins had been deliberately sitting and waiting for Kevin Taylor to file a new motion against his own client. He had been in communication with Taylor about the motion before it was filed. He had told her none of this. She did not tell him to stop pursuing the contempt motion. Yeah, so this is like legal malpractice. He's like taking the strategy into his own hands without even consulting his client. Can't do that. Anyway, she learned he was closing his firm through a Facebook post. She contacted him to confirm. He confirmed it. Kevin was awesome. He discovered new opposing. All right. Christine Rice signed a retainer. Hopkins never filed an entry of appearance in her case. Okay, so basically allegations that he's a shitty lawyer is what it is. It's not sex stuff. Okay, this goes on and on, but I'm beyond my interest in this issue. Transgender adolescents have worse mental health after reassignment, study shows. This was published today on The Noticer. Adolescents who claim to be transgender have significantly worse mental health after being subjected to medical gender reassignment, a large Finnish study has found. The study, published in a medical journal on April 4th, found a significantly higher incidence of mental disorders after so-called medical gender reassignment, which includes the use of irreversible and dangerous genital surgery, hormones, and puberty blockers. Well. Yeah, somebody should have told him not to hire a transgender lawyer.